Okay, firstly, to start, this video is for AP World History. I'm going to be taking that test in about 2 weeks. Also, I tried to have something relevant to the topic in my background. So, I don't have a globe, so I've got a dictionary with a picture of a globe on it. So that's why I grabbed this. And also there's my dolphin, because dolphins are my spirit animal. It's right over here. And don't think this has ever actually been visible in my videos so far, but there are truffle trees up there because environment. Alright. This video is going to be focusing on humans and the environment, which is a theme of the AP World History course. Okay? So, College Board defines this interaction as the environment shapes human societies, and as populations grow and change, these populations shape their environments. Okay? So, for starters, in Units 1 and 2, agriculture was the main interaction between humans and the environment. Agriculture enabled humans to control their environments to a greater extent, and it transformed the environment. This transformation was in many cases land overuse, such as overgrazing, soil depletion, and deforestation, and it harmed civilizations like Great Zimbabwe by resulting in less agricultural output. An example of agricultural development in the Song dynasty in the period 1200 to 1400 is champa rice, which was drought-resistant and provided a stable source of food, which in turn caused drastic population growth. As food supply increases, human population increases. What a revolutionary idea! Likewise, at the same time in the Americas, maize, or corn, spread, with the same result of increased population. Farming in China and the Andes Mountains used terraced farming because unaltered mountains are difficult to farm. In Mesoamerica, with large lakes and wetlands, chinampas, or artificial islands were used to make farming that land easier. Other environmental knowledge shaped human connections, like monsoon wind knowledge in Indian Ocean trade and other oceanic knowledge. This theme does not stand on its own, so it's important to note that humans were using the knowledge combined with advances in technology to go all over the Indian Ocean. I didn't write that down. Going back to earlier, terrace farming and chinampas were also technically technological innovations as well. So that's me trying to say that, like my favorite teacher says, one topic does not exist in a vacuum. The environment does not exist in a vacuum. It's got other themes around it. All of world history is all of world history, if that makes sense. Like, stuff doesn't happen with only altering one thing. Multiple stuff is impacted by something else. Back to my notes. These trade networks along the Indian Ocean, the Silk Road, and across the Sahara Desert, which means desert, also spread two environmental impacts. These were diffusion of crops, which was intentional, and the spread of disease, which was not. Fun fact! The world has grown used to the word quarantine in the past year, and that word actually originates from the Black Death in Italy, where ships had to stay away for 40 days. The Italian word for 40 is quaranta, therefore you get quarantine. Moving on to Units 3 and 4, from 1450 to 1750, Columbian exchange results in the most environmental impacts. Afro-Eurasian crops like fruits, grain, and sugar were sent to the Americas, which caused soil depletion. Also, diseases like smallpox and measles killed somewhere between 50 and 90% of indigenous American populations. Also, there was deforestation to make room for domesticated animals, which were from Afro-Eurasia, because the only animal in the Americas that could be domesticated before then was the llama, and yes, I got that little tidbit from Crash Course World History. So, disease, crops, and animals like pigs, horses, and cattle went to the Americas, which mostly helped the Europeans, not the indigenous people. And Afro-Eurasia got potatoes and corn and tomatoes and cassava. So basically, Columbian Exchange is the reason for the Ireland potato famine, because without it, Ireland would have 0 potatoes. On to Units 5 and 6, from 1750 to 1900. Environmental factors contributed to industrialization. Waterways, rivers, and canals, some of which were man-made, were used as transportation, and the latter two, canals and rivers, were used to power earlier factories. Why couldn't we have just stuck with hydropower instead of using steam engines? Comment down below, what do you think would have happened if the steam engine had never been invented? For better or for worse, it was, and coal and iron were mined, which is another environmental impact. Also, timber was needed, and that means more deforestation. The Industrial Revolution brought about increased agricultural productivity as well. Places like Great Britain had rivers and coal and iron and timber, and they industrialized faster. There was so much soot in London that the moths adapted gray coloring for camouflage, which is something from Living Systems, not world history, but I'm getting back to that. Of course, you need workers in cities for an industrial revolution, so food production for those people who were working in factories was important. Some places had resources that other places wanted, which led to export economies like rubber from the Amazon and Congo Basin. The rubber was originally from the Amazon and it got transported to the Congo Basin. Cotton from Egypt, diamonds from Africa, sugar plantations, again, sugar is from Europe, in the Americas, and palm oil in West Africa. Urbanization and the Industrial Revolution marked the beginning of pollution in the air and the water especially. Okay, moving on from 1900 to the present day, world populations increased, water and air purifiers were and are being invented, and medical advances were made. Yay! However, we live in a global society and we have discovered the bad part of what that means. History books from before COVID-19 mentioned the greater possibilities of global pandemics, and now here we are on, hopefully, the tail end of one such pandemic. Okay, how many negative impacts of industrialization can I name in this last couple of seconds? Deforestation, desertification, decline in air quality, pollution, the invention of styrofoam, consumption of fresh water, consumer culture which results in throwing reusable stuff away, greenhouse gas emissions, extinction and dwindling populations of animals, destruction of wild places, forest fires. That's all I can do for right now. I'm sure I missed something. Post it in the comments. Okay. And that is the end of the information that I think is most important for AP World History, environmental impacts, and I hope this helped you study. I originally made this video to help me study. So, gathering all the information, writing it down on this study guide. I hope I'm going to get a good grade on the exam, which is in 2 weeks.